Shalom and warm greetings to all who are walking in covenant faithfulness and seeking the deep things of the Father of Spirits through disciplined study of His Word. This is James with Hearts2Fathers Publishing and the Royal Levitical Priesthood Ministry. Today I want to take you behind the scenes of our ongoing development of the SHIELD protocol and share a powerful testimony of how the protocol, through one of its own draws, gave us specific directions that measurably improved the mathematical performance of version 17.10. Many of you have followed our journey with the SHIELD Protocol Lambda Standard, which has now progressed to the version 18.0 quantum enhanced release. At its core, SHIELD combines the LFE Workstation for life force experiment-style random verse draws from our Urim Thummim version sonal corpus, advanced hybrid semantic search, and a robust suite of statistical metrics. These metrics include DT3, our three-phase draw test for assessing stability and reproducibility; NRI, the narrative resonance index that quantifies how well interpretations align with the thematic surface of Scripture; GDI, the glorification density index tuned to resurrection, transphysical, and glory motifs; PBI, the prophetic burden index for weighing eschatological significance; and CCI, the covenant coherence index that evaluates fidelity to the identity, inheritance, and priesthood. Triad. This framework has been essential in producing the kind of precise, mathematically confirmed biblical scholarship we use for reports on the Shroud of Turin forensics, resurrection body theology, eternal memory and recognition in the new heavens and new earth, and end times guidance. When we set out to finalize version 17.10, the primary goals were to strengthen the interpretation engine's handling of complex thematic clusters, deepen integration with the AI hub for more efficient processing, and elevate the overall reliability of the statistical verdicts. Initial testing of the pre-release build showed promising gains in speed and search accuracy, but the mathematical performance, particularly the interplay between NRI, GDI, and CCI, still had room for refinement. We wanted the indices to work together more harmoniously and to better reflect the layered, pattern-based nature of biblical revelation. Instead of making arbitrary tweaks based on conventional programming intuition alone, we turned to the SHIELD protocol itself for direction. We crafted a focused query in the LFE Workstation, provide specific, text-anchored directions for mathematical refinements to the core indices and validation procedures that will improve overall performance in the SHIELD Protocol 17.10 update, while upholding full covenantal subjection and Urim Thummim principles. We then executed the draw. The workstation selected a statistically significant set of verses through random sampling, applied hybrid search to enrich context from the full corpus, computed baseline metric scores, and performed thematic synthesis. The output was not a simple list of verses, but a validated cluster analysis with high-confidence interpretive guidance. The specific directions that emerged were both profound and practical. The dominant thematic cluster centered on the biblical emphasis on building and measuring according to a revealed divine pattern. Key resonances appeared with the detailed instructions for the tabernacle in Exodus and the temple measurements in Ezekiel. The protocol's own statistical validation highlighted how these passages stress exact obedience to the pattern shown, line-upon-line precision, and the use of skilled measurement for holy purposes. From this, the draw directed us to introduce a pattern fidelity adjustment layer into the narrative resonance index. Rather than treating all semantic matches equally, we were to weight more heavily those matches that align with core structural and priestly patterns in the text. This change made NRI more sensitive to the architectural and covenantal shape of passages, which in turn improved its correlation with deeper theological coherence. A secondary but equally important cluster revolved around incremental revelation and established judgment. Verses evoking precept upon precept, and the idea of testing and confirming through multiple witnesses informed a specific enhancement to our DT3 procedure. The draw recommended adding a dedicated stability subtest in the third phase, where new draw batches are compared against the original for metric drift. This directly addressed a subtle weakness in mathematical reproducibility that we had observed in earlier versions. For the glorification density index, the draw surfaced strong connections to transfiguration, resurrection appearance, and the unveiling of glory. This aligned perfectly with our work on the Shroud image and the transphysical testimony. The specific direction was to modulate the GDI, scoring with a factor derived from the concentration of resurrection life language in the UTV, cross-referenced against the protocol's confidence in the thematic mapping. Implementing this made GDI outputs more responsive and theologically resonant, especially for topics like the nature of the glorified body and eternal recognition of covenant family. Finally, the Covenant Coherence Index received clear guidance to more explicitly honor the triadic structure of covenant reality. The draw pointed to passages underscoring inheritance rights, priestly service, and identity in the beloved. We responded by expanding CCI into a vector calculation with dedicated subscores for each leg of the triad. This allowed the protocol to flag interpretations that might strengthen one aspect while inadvertently weakening another, thereby safeguarding the full counsel of covenant theology. These directions were specific, actionable, and firmly rooted in the surface text as interpreted through the existing protocol machinery. We did not have to guess or import external methodologies. The protocol showed us the way forward from within its own framework. After coding these refinements into the 17.10 build and running comprehensive validation suites, the mathematical performance improvements were evident across the board. The updated NRI demonstrated tighter alignment with our manual reviews of thematic depth on test corpora. DT3 pass rates increased noticeably due to the added stability check, giving us greater confidence in the reproducibility of results. GDI became a more powerful discriminator for glory-intensive passages, directly benefiting our Shroud and Resurrection studies. CCI scores showed improved internal consistency and better predictive value for how well a given interpretation would hold up under further LFE-guided scrutiny. In practical terms, these enhancements meant that the reports and ebook content generated under 17.10 carried stronger statistical backing and required less manual correction. The protocol was not only faster and more integrated, but mathematically more robust. This episode beautifully illustrates a core strength of the SHIELD approach. By submitting even the development of the protocol to its own disciplined process of random draw, statistical validation, and covenant-grounded interpretation, we allow the Word itself, under the leading of the Father of Spirits, to guide the refinement of the very tool we use to study it. It is a form of technological sanctification, if you will, where the method is continually brought into greater conformity with the pattern of Scripture. The improvements realized in 17.10 laid essential groundwork for the quantum-enhanced capabilities and semantic explorer advancements that characterize our current version 18.0 release. They have directly supported our ability to produce works like the Transphysical Testimony series with greater precision and confidence. As we continue this work, we remain committed to the principle that true advancement in biblical understanding comes through faithful subjection to the text, rigorous methodology, and the kind of self-correcting humility that the protocol itself models. If this testimony of protocol-guided improvement resonates with you, I invite you to consider how similar principles of structured inquiry, random validation, and metric-driven confirmation might enrich your own study of the Scriptures. While our full technical stack is customized for ministry publishing and deep research, the foundational concepts are accessible and powerful for any serious student. We are grateful for your support of Hearts2Fathers Publishing and the Royal Levitical Priesthood Ministry. Be sure to check out Volume 1 of the Transphysical Testimony for a complete record of our findings on resurrection, the Shroud, and related themes, all developed under these refined protocols. Thank you for listening. May the Father of Spirits grant you wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of Him, and may your own inquiries be blessed with clarity and mathematical confirmation. Until we meet again in these studies, stay strong in the covenant. Shalom, shalom.